Yeah, we're still going over the new applicants for the guard positions due to our expansion. Just sit back, relax. I'll be with you shortly. There are a lot of dreamers out there that come up with some really weird and creative solutions to what we would have to call first world problems. These are the kinds of solutions that you can see that, yeah, they'll do what you want it to do. It solves the problem that you perceive, but it leaves you scratching your head because there are so many other ways, and in many cases, much more practical ways to solve the issue without having to resort to crowdfunding. This one is a really good example, but I'm not going to subject you to the over 4 minutes that he tells you about the problem and how he has solved it. We're just going to see the first couple of minutes or so and then move on. This one probably shouldn't be in crowdfunding hell because it's real. But, oh my gosh, what in the world was he thinking?
If I want to lift the toilet seat, usually I use my foot. Kind of dangerous if I trip and fall on my behind, hurt myself, or land on, if I'm in a public bathroom, on pee. Then to take it down brings up to be a hassle. Sometimes you can just grab a piece of paper and do it, but what if there's piss and you got all over you? Here's the solution. This right here. Personalized toilet seat lifter. Protects your fingers with this, so when you grab it, you don't touch the toilet seat. All you gotta do is insert it, lift the toilet seat, use the toilet. To get it down, use this part right here. Just all you gotta do is insert it right here, bring it down, pop it out. You can take it anywhere. Just put it in your keys and have it when you're done using it. Come down, clean it, soap or whatever, and just wash it.
Yeah, I think that you all get the picture now, loud and clear. This is something that, well, after all, I have to keep saying this at times. It's your money. Spend it wisely. Well, it looks like they've gotten to the final stages of deliberation on the applicants that will become guards here in crowdfunding hell. Let's leave them to their deliberations and go on to look at the next crowdfunding campaign, shall we? Meanwhile, let's find out why this guy in Germany is all wet with the Marine Acrobat, a new generation of green energy production. This is probably going to be good.
Marine Acrobat is an underwater robot for electrical power generation based on vertical movement in water, automatically. Marine Acrobat is not dependent on sun, wind, tide, and is a green sustainable energy source for anywhere. Marine Acrobat efficiency is 90%, which is much more than solar cell and wind turbine power stations.
Okay, let's talk about some of the things that really set me off when I look at something like this. Starting with the fact that it's in the robots category, but it's a green energy production device. Which is it? Is it one or the other? My guess is they're probably trying to say that it's both. Now, let's take a look at another aspect of it. In the illustration that they use in the video, they're trying to basically show us that what they have here is a submarine. The submarine has two forms of propellers that I'm assuming are attached to some kind of generator so that when the propellers are turned as it goes up and down the water column, it generates electricity. First off, it's basically a submarine at this point. It's not a robot, at least not any kind of robot that I'm familiar with. You may know something I don't. Please correct me in the comments. I'm happy to learn. But here's the other thing. In order for the bladders to fill and then deflate, there has to be a source for some sort of gas that would allow for that thing to rise and sink, right? Kind of like the ballast tanks on a submarine. And just like the ballast tanks on a submarine, once you've used up whatever gas you're using for that flotation, for that ballast, to maintain whatever depth you're going in the water column, that gas is gone. It's going to have to be replenished. So right off the bat, there are things that you're having to add to this system in order to be able to make it work. Then there's the whole idea of something that they also claim in the video, that it's 90% efficient. Then they show you how the power gets from the Marine Acrobat to an inverter station, I guess it is, to power transmission, and then to the homes. If there's anybody out there that's familiar with how power gets from A to B, you know that, well, quite a bit of it is lost in the transmission. That's because it's got to go through wires. Those wires have a certain amount of resistance to electrical transmission, and as a consequence, some of the electricity is lost. You're trying to tell me that they've developed something that is 90% efficient in transmitting the electricity? I don't think so. This is a nutso kind of idea, and that's probably why they only have $22 pledged out of the $37,000 plus that they say they're going to need to make this thing happen. But they only have 6 backers with 32 days to go, and frankly, I think that this is somebody that would need a miracle to make this happen. It's a great science project. This would be great as a graduate project in some school, in college, high school, whatever, so that they can demonstrate they know the basics of submarines. But for power transmission, there are things out there that use the tides, which come in regularly, that produce power. They're used in certain parts of the world, but they're not widely used simply because it still doesn't transmit enough power to make it worthwhile. This thing is pretty much the same thing. It is definitely going into crowdfunding hell because while it's a very interesting idea, and it would be fun to build one of these things as a project, well, It just doesn't work on the scale that they would need it to in order to put it into production. Well, it looks like we've hired a new group of guards for the expansion here at Crowdfunding L. And take a look at our director of training. He can hardly wait to get his hands on and train them properly. Finally, we have a tale of greenwashing, brought to you by Last Swab, the reusable cotton swab. Let's take a look.
This is the Last Swab. It's the world's first reusable cotton swab. It's sanitary and easy to clean with a dab of soap. It comes in two models, one patterned for cleaning and another designed for touch-ups. Last Swab can be used thousands of times. The materials are soft and flexible. The rubber gently removes dirt, grease, and makeup. Traditional cotton buds and other single-use plastics will be banned in the coming years. These common bathroom objects are often flushed down a toilet and are a serious source of marine pollution. We use 1.5 billion cotton buds every day. It's time to switch to the Last Swab. Last Swab comes with a carry case, so you can take it on vacation. You can also use it at work. Or you could bring it on a date. And it comes in different colors, so you know which one is yours and which one is theirs.
Thanks for pledging.
Thanks for switching to Last Swab.
Now, greenwashing, the ability to make an item seem more ecologically friendly than it actually is an incredibly powerful marketing tool, and nowhere is that more apparent than in crowdfunding. Here on their Kickstarter campaign, they were able to get hold of exactly 19,909 backers, and they pledged 4,789,213 Danish krone. For those of you that are not internationally inclined, that is $718,436.64 in U.S. money. That's quite a bit. And there's one other thing to consider too. As it shows right up here, these guys are now on Indiegogo. Let's take a look at what the take was there. Well, as you can see now here on Indiegogo, they're in demand, which means they can continue to make money. And of course, they have $746,989 US dollars from 20,595 backers. And once again, if you don't want to do the conversion in your head, in Danish krone, that's 4,979,623.37. That's Danish krone. No need to thank me. It's all part of the service of crowdfunding hell. So what exactly is Last Swab, if you really didn't understand or get much more than a basic understanding from that video you saw a moment ago? Well, it's supposed to be a replacement for cotton swabs and similar things that we would use once and then throw away. This is the only thing about it that is supposed to be eco-friendly. I'll go into that in detail in a bit, but that's really it in a nutshell. You're supposed to use this, rinse it off to clean it, and then use it again. But while at first blush that sounds very eco-friendly, think about it for just a moment, will you? It's marketed to go to the same places that you would take a cotton swab or a makeup swab normally, but again, you're supposed to be able to clean this thing and reuse it. Here's the problem as they've identified it. Every day, 1.5 billion cotton swabs are produced. Cotton swabs are a huge source of marine pollution. Well, that may be true. I'm certain that there are cotton swabs that are found in marine pollution, but is that problem really quite what they make it out to be? At any rate, it's reusable, and as you can see in that bottom right-hand corner, lots of colors for the case that holds them are available. And it's always nice to color coordinate in that hard plastic case that they've manufactured for each of these swabs so you can carry it around. Yeah, eco-friendly, right? But wait, there's more. And once again, as you can see right here, it's so easy to use. You use it, you clean it, and then you store it inside that sealed plastic case of one of those multicolors that were put out there just so that you could carry this around. Eco-friendly, right? Okay, let's move on. Now pay attention, because this is going to be important. There's a stiff and strong nylon rod along with those two ends they're talking about in a biodegradable carrying case. What they don't tell you is that nylon rod and are those flexible and soft ends as biodegradable as you would like them to be, as well as that hard case. Sure, they may degrade over time, but is it a year, 2 years, 10 years, 100? You don't know, but you're being sold on the idea that you're helping the planet if you get this particular product. Again, it's probably a really good example of greenwashing used as a marketing technique. And boy, has it worked when you think about how many people have backed this. Moving on. Now here's something that I found interesting. The multiple colors for these cases allow you to determine which of these particular swabs are used for which particular purpose and person. That's nice, but remember, they have to make an individual case as well as those swabs for whatever purposes you're identifying them with, whereas with standard swabs, you don't necessarily have to do that, particularly standard cotton swabs. You simply get a standard cotton swab, take it out of a case where there's a bunch of others, and use it. Here, you're going to have to keep track of those things, and hopefully you don't lose them. But there's one other aspect of it that really bothers me, and we'll get to that in a moment. And of course, in their marketing, they have all the buzzwords. It's reusable, high quality, and the biggie, environmental. It's for travel. It's well designed. No doubt about that. And there's a patent pending. No doubt about that either. But there's something more. Here it comes. Their biggie thing there. It's reusable. Now understand something. I have nothing against anything that is truly reusable. But I want you to think about what you use cotton swabs for, and those makeup swabs as well, but mainly the cotton swabs. Why is it that we've been using so many cotton swabs that are completely and totally disposable after one use? We don't want to take the chance on moving an infection from one side on the body to another. Isn't that correct? Yet here's something that they're saying, well, all you need to do is wash it off and you can use it again. The question that would be uppermost in my mind, and probably should be yours, is that really safe? The other thing about the ecologically friendly aspect of it, these particular swabs will eventually wear out. What are you going to do with them then? If you said, I'm going to throw it into a landfill, go to the head of the class, because that's exactly what you're going to do. Or if you damage one while using it, what do? Same song, second verse, you're going to throw it into a landfill. Suddenly, it's not as eco-friendly as you thought, eh? And as long as we're considering how eco-friendly this thing is, take a look at what they wrote here. Both our two innovative designs feature a soft feel tip made of medical silicone. I'm not entirely certain, and if you know more about it than I do, I'm willing to learn, but isn't medical silicone something that doesn't break down? It's not biodegradable? Well, that kind of takes away that eco-friendly label completely, doesn't it? But it's your money. Spend it wisely.